We cutting loose.
All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of DWMOD. That's right, Andy St. Clair is in the house. Louis trying something new this week, so I'm just going to stop talking and let him show you. Here's what we got coming this week on DWMOD. Boy, that's how it's going to work, man. Disagree with me or don't. Things are heating up all over the place. We're going to get to a lot of NBA playoffs. We're going to get to it. People want to see me cry. I'm not going to cry.
Right. Hopefully.
It's possible. It could happen, Andy. It could happen. We got Stanley Cup playoffs are heating up. That's getting pretty fun. Man, just a lot of stuff going on. Before we get into that, though, have you ever went oh, probably not, because you're out in LA and they just started traveling. I was going to ask you if you ever got to see the Savannah Bananas thing.
I haven't seen them yet. No, I haven't seen them.
Okay. I know you can stream the games now on Disney Plus or something.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like clips, Twitter, they seem fun, but I've never seen them live.
Yeah. They're
actually,
on
they
the world
out here in Los Angeles. I think they were.
Yeah, they're touring right now, all the cities, and it was like a lottery you had to get in to try to get tickets. And so my wife got into the lottery, and we got some tickets here in Atlanta, and we went and saw them. Now, she's gone before by herself. She loves it. Mm-hmm. It was cool as hell, man. It was so fun, dude. It's something that you think is like, I don't know. I mean, it seems gimmicky or whatever. Probably, it'll probably be okay. Bro, it was a blast. It was absolutely brilliant.
Who do they play? Who are their Washington?
So there are now like 6 teams in the league now.
Okay.
So there's the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals were the original 2 teams that kind of just did the thing, I think.
Yeah.
And now they have the Firefighters and there's like all these other teams that travel. So like if you see them up in Detroit in June, I think you're going to see the Firefighters play the Party Animals. You don't always get to see the Bananas.
Right.
So we saw the Bananas here. I didn't know anything about it. You know what I mean? Other than I saw some clips like you, and I thought, oh, this is, they're doing like having fun playing baseball. No, they have their own rules for this. Like it reminded me of being a kid in the backyard and like we're making up our own rules. And like by the end of the summer, we've invented like this perfect new game.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. I don't know if you're familiar with the rules.
No, I don't know. I didn't know they made new ones.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about them right now. So first of all, let me tell you this. This is not just a bunch of guys that are out there like dancers and then they're going to have some fun and play some baseball and they're semi-athletic. It's good baseball. Like these guys are like former minor leaguers, college players. Like they can play. Like you're watching me, like these guys can play. Now, like the pitching is obviously like the guy's not blowing 100 and got 4 pitches. I mean, he's throwing 80s, maybe gets to 90. It's like it's hittable, which is the product, makes it fun. So here's the rules. You get points by winning the inning. Total runs don't matter. So if you win the first inning, you get a point. Innings that are 0-0, nobody gets a point. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins the game.
Gotcha.
So, which is brilliant from a standpoint of production, right? Because the game's never 9-0 in the 3rd inning and people leave.
Right.
Brilliant. I thought that was fun.
So you can win 5-4, I assume. That's the closest.
Correct.
It can be.
Right. Gotcha. Right. Yep. It's 5-4. If it goes into extra innings, they don't play an extra inning. They do one pitcher, one batter, one fielder. You can put the one fielder wherever you want. And if he strikes the guy out, then you didn't get a run. If the guy hits it, the pitcher and the one fielder have to try to get the ball together and get it to home before the batter does, or they get the run, and then the other team gets the turn. I'm like, fun. Right. Fun. So that's the rule on the overtime stuff. Now, if you've seen the videos where they do the tricks, you can get they have a thing on the scoreboard for trick points. So like when the guy does a backflip and then catches the ball, that's a trick point. The visiting team, if the visiting team can out trick point the home team, they get an extra point. So going into the 9th inning, if they're down 4-3 but have more trick points, we're now 4-4 and we're going to get overtime or whatever like that. Now there was one other cool rule that I thought, there's no walks. There's no you can get walked, but it's not like you're not rewarded. Here's what has to happen. If you get walked, all 9 players on the other team have to touch the ball before they can attempt to get the batter out. So the batter can just take off running on ball 4. And you have to do that, like throw it around the infield thing as the outfield is all converging on second base. everybody has to touch the ball, and then you can try to get the guy out.
That's
You
fun.
would think you'd just go right to second every time. They don't, because they'll get your ass out. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, some stuff was impressive, but anyway, in between every inning, it's like minor league stuff. You know, they're doing giveaways, they're doing songs, they're doing dances, and then they do fun stuff during the game. Like one guy was trying to score on like a real close play. Like he's trying to score from second. Outfielder got the ball. The throw's coming in hot. It's going to be close. And like he pulls up with a hamstring, like, oh, and then like he tags the place and he's safe. And you're like, oh, he just blew his hamstring out. Everybody comes running out to see if he's okay. And then they break out into like a choreography dance at the plate.
Yeah.
TikTok or something. I'm like,
Great.
fun. It was funny. They did cool things. There's a lot, like the ladies love it. They do the dancing and all this stuff. Andy, I couldn't recommend going more.
They're selling out everywhere they go.
Oh, like mad.
Yeah.
Like
Are
mad.
tickets expensive?
No. Tickets were like, we sat in the upper bowl, but it's like, I think we paid like $38 a piece or something.
Yeah, not bad. Right.
No, it was great. Now you could get better ones down on the field and be next to the dancing and stuff if you want, but you don't need to do that.
Right.
But like, Danielle would love it. Colette would love it. I mean,
What's the like stadium food price? Is it normal baseball or is it cheaper?
That depends. That always depends on the venue.
The venue.
You know what I mean? So whatever Truist charges for stuff, that's what you charge. And then they had a couple specialty items on the menu for the bananas, but that was, your cups and things like that. It was a lot of fun, bro. It was a lot of fun. I did not think it was going to be that cool. And I was like, this is cool. This is cool.
Yeah. All right,
and then there's a 2-hour time limit.
Oh, I didn't know. 2 hours?
Yeah. Whatever the score is at the end of 2 hours, that's the game. But from my understanding, doing a little research, they usually always get the game in.
Right.
So I don't know. It was cool. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Tip of the cap to the Bananas. They got that thing figured out. The game was fun. The new rules were fun.
Right.
I'll go again for sure. I liked it, man.
All right.
So I don't know.
Have to check them out. I'll definitely check them out.
Do it when they come to town. Here's another thing I didn't know if you heard of. I wanted to ask you. The Steiners. Now, which one has the kid that's the wrestler?
I get Rick and Scott Steiner confused all the time. I don't know. The other one's a football player.
Yeah, that's what I just saw here. Put that up, Louis. There we go.
Yeah.
Rock Steiner is the full name. He just signed with the Saints.
Right.
And so I guess Braun Breaker went to training camp with the Ravens or something before he started wrestling.
Yeah.
I think this is Scout's kid.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. I never know.
Because I think it said they were cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins. They're not brothers. They're cousins. Yeah, the rookie wide receiver for the Saints.
Okay.
Cousin with Braun, who I assume when he doesn't make the NFL, he's probably going to get into wrestling. Can I just make
That's exactly what the article said.
Yeah, okay.
He said he's holding off on the wrestling to try to live his football dream. And I was like, that's pretty cool, man. So the Steiners were both like All-American wrestlers at Michigan.
Yep.
Right now, both their kids are going to be WWE stars, obviously, but a cup of coffee in the NFL. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, good athletes. It's a family business.
Yeah, it is definitely, man. So I thought a couple little fun stories to start the show.
Let's do it.
A couple of fun stories. All right, now we got to get serious. We're going to get serious. We got to get into some crimes against sports, guys. The Crimes Against Sports this week brought to you by our old friend and sponsor, Rust Belt Club.
Brought to you by the RustBeltClub.com. They make the most comfortable clothes you ever wore, and they're guaranteed to be the most conversational. Put on your Rust Belt gear, and people are guaranteed to get inquisitive. But that Tom Brady's joint, where can I grab them cakes? Who won that game? Oh, good morning, counselor. Is that a tooth beer or two? I know that guy. Ho, that's a haunted water park. Abracadabra. And that's the RustBeltClub.com. It's for folks with an inquired taste.
Inquire. Go find out. Get some shirts. They're comfortable as all get out. Get you some shirts from Rust Belt Club, man.
They're great shirts. They're great shirts.
They're great shirts. They're great shirts, man. Well, this week they are bringing us crimes against sports. Now, Andy, I know you and I, this is not a political show. We don't get into politics really at all. Like we're doing sports. There are some times though where like politics and sports kind of overlap, and it's worth discussing. It's worth discussing. Right now, we know what's going on with, the Republican Party all the red states, and they are turning over these voting lines and making the whole state red. So there will be no Democratic representation from these states right now. And you have a lot of prominent, Black actors or people that are prominent in the African-American community coming forward and having takes like this from D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley said, I don't understand why a 4 or 5-star athlete would go to a school where the state is ushering a new iteration of Jim Crow laws. He thinks their stance should be, if you can't run in that state, you shouldn't go run in that state. What's your opinion on this, man?
Yeah, I would probably side with D.L. Hughley here. Like, it's, I think college programs, professional programs, but mainly college programs, I think can get some changes in those states more. I think about, like if you want good athletes at Ole Miss or Alabama, or I'm just naming states in the South more than Florida, whatever, if they're changing, I think that's those teams, because those teams mean more, and financially as well, to those states. And,
this
a
is
lot of
basically, sure, you're 100% right. This is basically, they're calling for a ban on the SEC. I mean, This is where it's the SEC. This is where it can hurt them financially. That's the biggest stakeholder down there. Multi-billion-dollar business the SEC is down there. And listen, if you listen to this show, I mean, I think 4 years ago on this very show, I did a whole segment, and I've been on this side of this thing since then. I said it publicly back then. I'll say it again. I don't understand why anyone in that position would ever go play at one of these schools.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. Now I understand back in the day, like the stadium is full of just racist people who they just want you to win the game for their team. And if your car broke down the street after the game, they wouldn't help you. They'd probably call a cop on you. Like, why would you go give them money that way? Like, I agree with D.L. Hughley solely, like big time. And here's the thing. I wouldn't pass judgment on anybody when I made that statement 4 or 5 years ago. I said, I wouldn't pass judgment on anybody for doing it, though, because sometimes it's about the opportunity to change your life for a lot of underprivileged kids, right? Okay. And back then, and disagree with me or don't, Andy, but back then, that opportunity was better suited in the SEC. You were going to get more eyeballs on you. They were playing better football down there. You're going to have coaches like Nick Saban. You were going to get a better chance to get to the NFL. It was a business decision for your family back then. You maybe didn't have a choice. But nowadays, with NIL, the SEC is not the prominent conference anymore. They haven't won the national title in 3 years. I don't think they've had a team in the national title in 3 years, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. So they're not the prominent team anymore. And with NIL, you can get paid real money to go play out in Oregon. Well, they'll respect you. You know what I mean? Like, has anything there I said you would disagree with?
I would still probably, give SEC the due. I think top to bottom, the difference, I think, between that and like the Big Ten schools, for example, the top two conferences, is like the bottom of the SEC is going to pay you way more than the bottom, like, of the Big Ten. Like whoever's the worst SEC team is, I guarantee, Mississippi State is giving more money to those kids than Purdue.
Surely.
Just a guarantee. And I think that's the only part I would disagree with you on. Like,
it's a legitimate point.
Top to bottom, I think SEC is better. But the last few years, now that the money, the NIL is evened out a little more, you have more options for those kids.
Way more options.
Go to Michigan. They can go to, the kids. They can go to Oregon, like you said, UCLA.
I mean, that you go out west at the USC. You could go to these nice, but if it's about the weather and you don't want to go to Iowa, look, I get it, man. Go out to UCLA.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do. There's a lot of things you can do. Now, you make a good point about the lower teams in those conferences and the SEC still being able to have a higher payroll than the lower teams, like Purdue to Mississippi State. Great example. Here's the thing, though. With that, those are the kids, like the kids on the lower tier, right? Like, say you're not a kid that's going to get $1 million NIL. Maybe you're a kid that, like, somebody's going to give you $200,000 to go play. A lot of kids in that boat.
Sure.
That's a bigger boat than the $1 million kid.
Sure.
So if you're only going to get like $200,000 from like Iowa, but Mississippi State's going to give you 750. I understand. You got to do what you got to do. I'm not going to. You do what you got to do for your family. But here's where it can really hurt the SEC is the bigger named players, the 4 and 5 star kids like DL's saying, everyone's offering these kids millions. So if the difference there is, 1.7 to go play at Ole Miss, where people are walking around in town with Confederate flags, or 1.5 to go play at Iowa or USC in the beautiful sunshine of LA, and make the right choice, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Stick it to them. If they don't get those good players, they'll be screwed in the pocketbook.
Yeah, no, I would definitely rather live at USC for 1.5 than Oxford for 1.7.
Are you kidding? You ain't kidding.
Now,
didn't Lane Kiffin just say something about that? I was reading a little bit in passing. Maybe you read more about it. What Lane Kiffin said about Oxford compared to
I think it was Stark, wasn't it? Stark?
No, Stark said something about the education.
Okay, he said basket weaving.
Yeah, because he said, I guess there's a big thing with the transfer portal stuff going on. Now, this I know a little bit about because of my son. So when he transferred from Grambling to ULM, a lot of his credits didn't transfer in, and it kind of puts you back a little bit. But he did it early enough where it put him back like a semester. But for a lot of kids, if you're transferring around a lot, like Nick Saban's been saying, you're not going to graduate. None of your credits will transfer.
Right.
So I think there's a thing now where some of these schools are starting to be like, we'll get your classes accepted. If you come here, we'll get your classes accepted, which is a little shady. And Sark was addressing that. And he said, we're not doing that at Texas. You're coming here to get an education. You go back to 50%. You're going to lose your classes if you come here, but that's because we care, and they don't care over in Oxford. They'll give you basket weaving and graduate you. Right. Because what Sark's thing was. Okay. So what's his name? Lane was saying, he sat down and did a big interview, and he did the Lane thing that you love because we laugh about it. That where he tries to spin everything like in his favor and make himself into a good guy.
Yeah.
And he said, I got to be honest with you. Part of my reason for leaving Oxford was I'd be sitting in a lot of living rooms with grandparents and then talking to the player later. And the player would be, look, coach, I'm sorry, but like my grandparents are very concerned about me coming down in the middle of Oxford, very notoriously racist, and coming down here to play football. And he said, over at LSU, I don't have that problem. Baton Rouge doesn't have that image. And I'm like, I don't know who he's trying to sell that to. Louisiana's not much different, bro.
Right.
But he said that. What do you think about that?
I mean, Lane's the best politician in football right now. He's like, he'll say whatever he can say to get in and out of that door.
Yeah.
He's like, he definitely took the money. He had a good thing going to Ole Miss. A team could have made the championship game with Lane. And he's like, give me a couple extra million. I'm good.
Yeah. He's always been a money chaser. He's always been a money chaser. You know what I mean?
He's a fun coach. He makes it fun. I'll give him that. He makes it fun.
He's something else, man. But yeah, I gotta say, listen, I'll be on the record here, man. I'm with DL. Yeah. Like, just don't do it. Boycott those schools, man. If have you ever been down here for any of the SEC? Well, you grew up in Missouri. I mean,
well, that's what I was gonna say. Come to Missouri. We're not the world's greatest state. We're not the worst, but come to Missouri.
Yeah. I mean, had a little bit outside of that South. I'm just saying, like, I've been to a couple games at Alabama. Yeah, I've been to a game at Auburn. Yep. I don't know the intricacies of those places, but I know what the politics of those states and areas are. So this is not an indictment on the University of Alabama or Auburn. But what I'm saying is when I'm sitting in that stadium at Alabama and I see what that stadium, I'm walking around listening to people talk. I am hearing people pointing and talking to other people. The racism down here is bigger than you think. You've never been exposed to. You may have in Missouri, but I mean, my friends up north from Detroit and stuff, you think you understand racism. You don't. And that stadium's full of them. And then I look at all the kids on the team and I go, and you got to play for these people? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it, man.
Come to Columbia, Missouri. We will love you. All the 5 stars. Come. We need a monster.
And if you're like a 2-star kid and you're like, man, I'm not going to have a really chance to play in the SEC anyway, this doesn't mean anything to me. Hey, head up to Mount Pleasant. The Central Michigan's awesome. You'll love it up there, man.
Yeah, it's great. Swing by. Just help us.
You'll love it.
Help us out.
Get on up there. Yeah. All right, buddy. Let's jump into some quick hits. All right, man. You sent me this text the other night. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Here is the NFL schedules have been released. Strength of schedule is out, Andy. And I'll show it to you, and you go ahead and walk us through who you love on this list. Louis, get it up. There we go. There it is.
Oh yeah,
Can't really see that.
Yeah, it's small, Louis. Jeez.
Can't really see that very well there, Louis. What is that? All right, here we'll just do this.
First thing I'm like, I just as a Chiefs fan, I'm like, how the Chiefs have like the 5th hardest schedule and they finished like 3rd in the AFC West. I'll never get it. But having said that, I would say, the Bills coming due for those teams from last year, Bill, like the Bears and the Pats, for example, had the great schedules. I'd immediately kind of take the under on the Bears, but we'll see. The coach is awesome, so it's hard. But I will take the under on the Pats probably. There's too much going on for me. I'm more interested in the overs more than the unders. And
okay,
I love give me the Browns over. I just like what they've been doing. It's like 4.5, 5.5. Like, just give me 6. They can get 6 wins.
Yeah.
And the Lions over.
Give me the Lions over.
Over all day. Give me the Lions to win that division. I think I sent you that text as well. It's just set up so sweet for Lions. If you look at the Lions in their division, everybody else is in the top 10. The Lions are in the bottom 5. Like that is not a better setup for the Lions for me.
No.
So I would probably avoid Indy. I just don't know what's going on with Daniel Jones yet. So I can't take the over there. Probably take the over on the Falcons.
I like the over on the Falcons a lot.
Saints, probably. I think the Saints, definitely. I would probably take the over. Like, that division's so wild. If they go 3-3, I don't know what the over-under is. I haven't looked. My guess is like
that's what I was going to ask you. I think there's a couple teams here that fall into a quagmire zone, and let's get there because New Orleans was one for me, and you just brought them up. Like, looking at this, they're showing the percentage of the win schedule, like how easy your schedule is going to be and things like that. But New Orleans winning as many games as they did last year, that division being like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect for the over-under on that. What do you think, 9?
It's 7.5. I just looked it up.
Oh, you looked it up, 7.5. Okay.
So I like the over. I mean, if they just go 3-3 in their division, then they have to win 5 of 11
I like that.
games.
Okay. What about the Jaguars? What's the over-under going to be? They got a decently, 490 winning percentage for their opponents for next year. I think the Jags might be a team that I'll take on the over just because they started slow last year, as you predicted, and came back to win the division. So
it's 9.5, and I'm gonna take the under because I like the under. Mainly because I think some of the drafting they've done the last few years has not been ideal, and they also they traded up for Hunter, who are any good this year. If you look at some of their draft, I think a lot of guys they picked were ranked much lower than they picked a tight end who was deep on the tight end list, and they got him in the second or third round. So also they lost Etienne, who's now in the Saints, and Kuttin could be awesome. I'm not saying he won't be good, but it's just unknown for me. So then you're asking me to have Trevor Lawrence kind of carry this team. Brian Thomas Jr. wasn't great. Then you're asking me then I got to come and rely on Trevor. I'm like, ugh. I mean, I think they nailed it on the coaching staff, but I lean a little bit under. Like, normally after a great year one for a new coach, the second year, I'd love to see the stats somewhere of what the second year is like. That's why I want to lean on that a little bit.
I think I'd grab the over on the Raiders, but if you want to do that, I think you better do it quickly before training camp. Once training camp starts, the hype's going to start getting behind. I think you're going to start seeing all the players they added outside the draft, which was a lot. You know what I mean? I think we're going to start. Here's my point. By the time we get deep into training camp, I think that Raider over and under number could jump maybe 2 games.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pound the under. I would even find I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I would even find if you could place a bet on next year's number 1 draft pick. Like, can I take the Raiders, please?
Wow, dude, really?
Yeah. Right now it's at 5.5. I would still take the under. I would take. My argument would be they're going to have 2 quarterbacks, Mendoza or Cousins, right? Rookie quarterbacks generally.
Yeah.
There's only a few, right? Jaden, Daniels was pretty good. Like it's not the list isn't very long, and they can all move. They can all scramble. It's not about passing. It's about can they escape the pocket and force the defense to like worry about it, right? So the Raiders, to me, let's say they're going to start Cousins. Let's say they're going to go 1-6. I'm just giving them randomly without looking at the schedule. 1-5, 1-7. They're going to have to bring in Mendoza at that point. They got to, right? They just got to get him reps. You're telling me in the next 9 games, Mendoza's going to win 5 of those? He's going to go 5-4? I don't think so. Like
I think your logic is solid right there. The way that you're laying that out, that logic is very solid. I just think I might go down a different road with the exact same facts. Like if I think that they're going to start, the
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. If I think they're going to start Kirk Cousins, I'm going to take the over for sure. Because
I like the under on that. You saw Cousins play, right?
Yeah, but he was coming off the Achilles and he just wasn't good. And he was hurt in the middle of that season as well. I don't think he's going to be amazing taking the playoffs or anything like that. Here's what I'll say. With everything else the Raiders added, especially on defense, they loaded up on defense. They got a little better on the offensive line. If he can just manage a few games, he could get him to 3 or 4 wins. I'm hoping for one more.
Let me ask you this. Outside of the running back, Ginty, who's awesome.
Yeah.
And Bowers. Name me their number 1 wide receiver.
Who? Oh man, didn't they sign one?
Exactly.
No, I forget.
I don't know. They have no.
I don't know.
Not to mention they have to play the Broncos twice, the Chargers twice, and the Chiefs twice. All who I think are going to be good teams.
Yeah, that's tough.
Smells of like 0-6. So now we're at 0-6. Let's say. So now we have 11 games. They got to go 6-5 in those 11 games.
Yeah.
No way.
We need a new segment on this show because this normally happens where you start talking me into the other side. We need a little graphic, Louis, of a door that just is creaking open. Creak.
That's why I'm saying, like, somebody find me some odds on the Raiders getting the number 1 pick again next year. Like, what is it? Like a plus 1,000, plus 12.
That might be a pretty.
Wow, give me that bet over under, like, because then I could just root for the demise.
Yeah, that might not be. They did a lot in that roster though, man. That's going to be a tough one for me. I'm going to see where that lands. I don't know. I still might be up in the air on that. Here's what I'm going to say about this list though. Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you this. Outside of those AFC West teams, I looked up who else they play. The Bills, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Niners, the Patriots. Like, what are we doing? Like, there's.
Oh no, I might have been looking at this.
I didn't tell you one game I thought they were going to win there.
Oh, the teams at the top of this list have a harder schedule.
Correct.
I know that. I know.
Yeah. The Raiders play the Chiefs twice, the Broncos twice, the Chargers twice. Then they also play the Bills, the Rams, the Seahawks. They go to San Francisco. They go to New England. Okay.
I think I might be with you. If you find a place we can lay that bet for them to have the number 1 pick, I might jump on that with you. That could happen.
Also, they're gonna bail to me, and they're gonna start Mendoza. They have to. They just have to play Mendoza. Cousins going to be bad in my opinion.
Well, they have to.
Right, and then Mendoza is going to take his lumps like all rookie quarterbacks do, and we're looking at, to me, like 4-13, 3-14, like 5-11, 5-12.
Man, mark this down. Here's what we should do for fun before the NFL season starts. Let's see who can get closest to the exact game Mendoza is named the starter.
It's week 7.
That's fun.
Well, you have to wait till the schedule comes out. The schedule comes out today. See when is the bye week? Because generally for these rookie quarterbacks, let's say if it's week 7, 8, 9, 10, I can promise you I'm gonna take it the week after the bye week.
I don't know the schedule either yet, but I'm going to say this based on who you said they're playing. And if they're playing the NFC West, I'm going to say that bye week isn't going to matter with the gauntlet of games that you said that they have. It's going to be when they play the Arizona Cardinals anywhere after the 7th game. They're going to be like, let them start against the Cardinals. Let's get the W. And then the Cardinals are going to be bad.
Yeah, they are going to be bad. I mean, they're going to go on the road. They're going to play on the road. San Francisco, Pats, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos. At home seems hard, man. They get all those teams: the Bills, the Rams, Seahawks.
Yeah, this will be tough. That's a tough schedule. Yeah, that's a tough schedule. I might jump off that. Here's what I'll say about this graphic though. When they give us this strength of schedule, this is one of these new analytical metrics that I kind of like throw it out the window. I just think it's such a gimmicky, hokey shit that they give us. Like, it's based on the records of the teams you're playing, the records they had last year, what their winning percentage was. And this is in a league where we're talking about 70% turnover on playoff teams every single year. So
yeah,
those two things kind of don't equate. Like, this league changes so vastly every single year. It doesn't matter what the record was last year. And that's your basis of your analysis. I don't think it matters to me.
I normally agree with you, but this year, you're right. But this year, like, there's some teams that are doing some like tanking in plain sight, right? Like Arizona, the Jets, like that couple teams, like Miami. These teams are going to be bad. They're going to be bad.
Yeah, Miami's
right?
going to be bad.
And so,
Jets might be a little over team. They rehauled that defense too. I don't think Glenn's going to be interested in having a shitty year too as well. I think he wants his Dan Campbell year this year.
I mean, he's got to play Buffalo and the Pats twice. And then he'll beat the Dolphins for sure once. But there's no guarantee they'll beat him twice. So he's 1-5, 2-4 in the division. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta. I think we know who the good teams are, right? Right now, you could kind of pick 7, 8, 10 teams, and the bad teams are the bad team. It's going to take a few years, I think.
This may be a good year for a little division winner parlay.
Sure.
Those are usually really hard to try to hit, but this year I think we may have a shot at hitting one or two of those, man.
I mean, I like the Bengals, but you're asking me to believe Joe Burrow's going to play the whole season. I don't know. It seems hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like all those bottom teams with the weak schedule. I probably like the over on all of them. I'd probably stop the Jags. I'd get it before. So like Philly to Cleveland, I would be interested in all those overs. Chicago to Minnesota, a little more of a coin flip, but I could get some unders.
Coin flip. Yeah, get some unders in there. Well, let's talk about let's jump to another little graphic that you sent me there's no argument here. This will probably be the greatest spread of Thanksgiving Day games I can remember in the last 15 years. Look at Thanksgiving Day here, man. Yeah. Packers, Rams, Bears, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, Broncos, Steelers is the stinker. But wow.
That Packers Rams game is Wednesday, is the night before Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
That's when. So that Thanksgiving, that is probably, I mean, the best. Without seeing what these teams are, the most optimistic we can be on Thanksgiving. You're going to get Bears, Lions, which I think could be great. Cowboys, Eagles, good. Chiefs, Bills.
Yeah, the 2, 4, 6, 8. I think there's 8, 9 playoff teams of the 10 teams right there. I think there's 9 of those teams are going to the playoffs this year.
And then you got Broncos, Steelers, which is probably the worst of all those games.
Yeah,
and still might be pretty good.
I think I'm taking the Steelers under hard.
I mean, it's hard not to. Every year we had to do Tomlin, so it's hard right now to.
Yeah, I'm going to play Steelers for the number 1 pick. I mean, I saw reports from ex-teammates of Rodgers when they were in Green Bay, when Rodgers and McCarthy were together in Green Bay, and dudes were like, "This will be over by the end of training camp. These two hate each other's guts. That's why it's taken this long to even get him signed."
Yeah,
this ain't gonna go well.
It's crazy. I mean, it's hard not to take. I'm with you on the under probably, but we'll see.
Yeah,
a couple months, do some work. The interesting thing is, if you do like a circa survivor, which is that kind of like every week you pick a winner. They do Thanksgiving. They do it. You have to pick like 2 or 3 teams, and this is for millions of dollars. I've never done it. I only read about it. But the Christmas schedule just came out as well. And I'll tell you who's on that Christmas schedule. Also awesome, by the way. The Christmas schedule is Texans at Eagles, Packers at Bears, Bills at Broncos, Rams at Seattle. All good. Those
Bears are going to be crying like we were last year, and rightfully so. I think that is. Look, I hate the Bears, but they're going to be right when they go, "Hey, this is bullshit, man. We got to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Come on, man. We're going to have one of the hardest schedules in the league."
So do the Rams and the Eagles and the Packers.
Right.
So what I was saying about that Survivor, you only on those holiday games, you only get to choose from those holiday teams. So if you ever get in those big contests, you've got to plan it out, your Thanksgiving and your Christmas picks. You can't take the Bears on Thanksgiving if you think they're going to win on Christmas, and vice versa. So it's like the NFL's trying to ruin the gambling Survivor a little bit.
Man, we got to get in one. Find one, buddy. Let's get in one.
They're fun. I mean, there would be so stressful. It would be so fun and expensive.
It's very stressful. But if they're expensive. I thought it'd be like just.
I think it's like 10K, 10, 20K.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Next. Yeah. Oh, hey, I got something for that.
No way. There's no way. No way.
No way. There's
but
no
you
way.
Could win millions. That's the thing. But you got to survive. And that's the hardest.
I could buy 10,000 lotto tickets and maybe win them.
Yeah, sure.
Like that. I've done enough Survivors to know that's flushing money down the toilet. No way. No way, man. 10 grand. I might try $100.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Even 100. I'm flushing $100 down the drain.
You're flushing it down the toilet, man. All right. Well, hey, man, let's just jump right into no way. Let's get into the Pistons, man. Shoo. Last night, the game, not good. I'm not one that is going to, this is going to sound weird. I often cry about the way that the NBA is officiated and that the product is absolutely fucking horrible, and everybody's starting to get on that side of the table. But when I say I'm not going to cry about officiating in the game, I'm not going to be like, the officials cost you the game, because as an athlete, you can win the game. Last night was fucking bad. Last night was bad with 40 seconds left. Now the Pistons were up 10 with 9 minutes left or 2 minutes left. That's on them 100%. Right. But with 40 seconds left and they're up 2, that referee calls that shitty little loose ball tit-tap foul on Tobias Harris. 2 guys going for the ball and not diving or violent. Like they both were just kind of reaching for it. And Harris hits him like hip to hip and the other guy grabs the ball. And they're like, that's a foul with 40 seconds left to tie the game.
Yep.
To tie the game. And then at the end of the game, Osura Thomas makes that steal, and he's going to get the loose ball. And that other dude clearly like trips him and hip checks him, just tries to keep him from getting the ball. And they're like, well, we're not going to call that. We'll let it just go to overtime. This is what drives me crazy, man. It be good or be bad. Just be consistent.
Yeah, that was Jared Allen, I think, at the end.
That was a foul, bro. Like, clearly, I think you got to call it.
I think I take a shot. If watching it on replay, that last one in particular, at least Jared Allen is like, he looks like he's trying to move away from the play, right? Like it. So, like, I'm like, I get they're not going to call that one intentional or unintentional, but, you know, it's a hard sport, obviously, to call. Those guys are fast and moving at like warp speed, no doubt. You know, it's like the NFL and the NBA, like those athletes are incredible. Just a little consistency. That's all I kind of want in my NBA. Like, hey, look, if we're going to call it tight, let's call it tight. If we're going to call it not tight and these dudes are going to take a pounding, let's do that the whole game. I just don't like when you like each half's kind of a different half. That's the part that annoys me more than anything.
Yeah, you set the tone as to how you're going to let us play, and now you're going to start cracking down. And now we're confused and we don't know what we can or cannot do. You just be consistent. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with them not call. I would err on the side of at the end of the game not calling that foul and putting Thompson on the line. If it was just a tie game, we're like, well, we're going to settle this in overtime. We're not going to settle it like that. If you didn't just tie the game with the same call 30 seconds ago.
Right. The ticky-tack fouls, and then the last foul, you're like, it's hard to, I'm sure it's harder on those guys. They're like, how are we playing the game, right? Like, how is it?
Yeah.
Says, because, like, there was a couple times where, like, you know, Harden was shooting a couple. I mean, every player does it, where they shoot, and then the player Tobias, maybe I'm thinking of one particular time where like
Harris,
he does jump into a space for sure, but it's not like
the one time he did, and then like the 3 other times he's literally trying to stay 4 feet away from Harden and spread his legs out and like back away, and Harden is kicking his legs and jumping at him, and we're calling that a foul. Like, I'm sorry, man, you got a problem with the league. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. You can't game a system to the point where no one can come within 5 feet of you. You're going to the free throw line.
Yeah. It's like, there's certain rules that these guys have found, and it's like that pass interference, right? Like the Vikings were doing it with Randy Moss, where when he was a rookie, where they'd be like, just run deep, and then Culpepper would basically underthrow, right? And then Moss would beeline back, and some guy would obliterate him, and he'd get like a 40-yard pass interference. So it's like these guys find ways in all the sports to to make.
But you're 100% right. And now that I've complained a million times on the show that's now part of NFL offenses, and they need to fix that, because once it becomes a part of your regular gameplay to focus on the officiating and try to trick or game the officiating to play the game, that's a problem. I think every league should approach it that way. Once it's part of your game plan to game an official, we need to make a rule change there. You should just be out there playing the game. You know what I mean? It's bad.
Right.
The NBA is worse than anybody.
In the NBA, there's the guys that are good at it are like, Harden obviously is the Hall of Famer at it. SGA, he's really, really good at grabbing, pulling guys into him and getting a bump, and he's going to win back-to-back MVPs, probably going to win the title, back-to-back titles. He's good.
They have to find a way to change this. And here's the thing. I don't have a problem with guys like a guy like Donovan Mitchell. The way that he draws fouls is just because he's so damn quick, and he'll get you up in the air and then he jumps into you. That's basketball. Like, you left your feet. That's contact. That I'll live with those. That's how you play. It's the ones that are gamey and fake and phony that I'm just like, what are we doing? Why am I watching this? Why I don't, it's not fun.
Right. Well, sweet LeBron was he's been very good at it over the years.
That to me is the number one reason that I'll tell everybody that's why he cannot be my GOAT. That's it. You can tell me all the stats. You can tell me everything you want to tell me, the longevity, it's amazing. All of it is unprecedented. And then I'm going to show you a video of no one touching him and him flopping and flailing and I'm like, you ain't great. You ain't great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's hard, it's hard in the NBA because you got, I felt like Wembanyama in that game where he throws the elbow, game 3 against T-Wolves. Like, I feel like he was trying to be like, look, you're not going to push me around a little bit. He was getting beat on by the Wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he throws that elbow, and I'm like, buddy, you can't do that. You probably should be suspended a game, like.
I should have. He lost the school. Yeah.
And so it's hard, guys like Shaq who I don't know how in the prime how you just have to beat on him, right? And like you have to get fast.
I mean,
hard game.
Things like that you're always going to have, and then we're always going to see that a little differently, those situations, like I said with Mitchell and like you're saying with Shaq and things like that. And those are things that we'll like minorly complain about the game. That's normal. Now, on top of that, when you add all this Harden gaming and all this Jalen Brunson head throwing and SGA pulling guys at him, and I'm like, and now you have garbage. Now you have garbage I don't want to watch.
Brunson does a lot too. Brunson is a good call. He does a lot. Brunson's good.
Oh,
he finds
it's
ways.
The worst. Every time Harden shot in that game last night, he laid down. Every time he shot, he laid on the ground.
Yeah.
Every time he tried to get that landing foul, every time.
Yeah. He's good at it.
I can't. Anybody that says to me James Harden is one of the greatest scorers in the history of the NBA, not a chance. No way. No way. 50% of your points came from the line on a rule where they're giving you a circle around you like you're returning a fucking punt and you get a foul. No, you ain't a great scorer. No.
Yeah. Those guys are they're really the ones that figured it out have figured it out, no doubt.
I'm furious about it. I hate Harden. I can't take it anymore. I got to watch one more game with this asshole. Probably. I just can't even do it. Now the Pistons gave themselves big trouble. The game 3 they could have won.
Yep.
But they didn't. But that's a one where I'm going to give credit to the Cavs. They held on and pulled that game out. That's part of a series. That's great. They killed themselves in that. Quarter 3 is the story in game 4 for this whole series.
Right.
The 24-0 run. But the bigger story in that game is the fact that like all the bench players, the role players the Pistons need, they showed out in game 4 like you couldn't believe. LeVert was, what did he have, 20? LeVert had like 20. I think Jenkins had like 14 or 15. You had multiple 10-point performances off the bench, so that counteracted Duren being in the attic as a ghost. You should have won that game. And your two big scorers, Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris, combined for 0 points in the third quarter. and combined for 9 total points in the fourth quarter. Your 2 best scorers didn't even get the double digits combined in the second half. That's the bigger story to me.
Yeah, I mean, and the story is like the Cavs have figured out they just kind of double or triple Cade, force anybody else. And you know, I feel like, you know, I'm sure the lovely and loyal Detroit listeners will yell at me about this, but Tobias has been bad, you know, and Tobias has been bad the last few games, like especially in the losses.
He's been great.
Bad.
Yeah.
And if he's got to play, in my opinion, he's got to play at just a higher level for Detroit to keep alive. If he plays higher level, just a little higher level, Detroit will win in Cleveland, I believe. If Tobias plays well. Because I think Cade's 30, 35. It's just like Cade to me solid. He's always doing it. But Cade's going to show out. If Tobias gets like 16, Pistons are going to lose. Like if he gets 29, Pistons may win that thing, you know, but
yeah, I'll tell you what I think is hurting Tobias in the last couple of games is like I'm just going to use this for a lack of a better term. Is like I think he's feeling himself a little bit because he's been scoring so well and shooting so well and putting up 25 and hitting 30 the other day the game against the Magic and stuff, and he's been like really awesome. And it's like, bro, you were scoring awesome when you were playing within yourself.
Right
now, you're kind of in this realm where you think you're this scorer and you're taking a bunch of shots you don't need to be taking, and you're not making them. When he shot that 3. That contested 3-pointer, 6 seconds into the shot clock, when there was like a minute 40 something left, and we're still up like 9, and he got the ball down there off the time. We called the timeout, got together. We're going to come out. Hey, let's slow it down. Just control possession so we win the game. And right out of that, Cade makes one pass. Tobias throws up a brick contested 3 without any time going off the clock. I'm going, what are you doing?
Right. Well, and also like. No, and also, you know, the real issue as well, just because I'm sure people are at home screaming, especially the Detroit fans, like, where's Duren?
Bro, we're beyond screaming. We're done with it. We're done with it. We're like, I mean,
it's like this dude's going to make one of the probably 3rd team NBA, maybe 2nd. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's like it's rarefied air. And like, he has been mostly invisible now for a month, you know, just has been nowhere to be seen.
Let's talk about that. A series is what it is. We got to win in Cleveland. That's the name of the game. We know that. Let's talk about this Duren thing right now. So restricted free agent, other teams can sign him, but we get to match. And I think right now the consensus is this $241 million is probably coming this guy's way because of how he played this season. But listen, to me, this is where we just jump right into this.
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I understand that he is, I'm not going to use the word worth because the NBA salaries are out of control, but this is the value of a player like this in this league right now with how crazy the salaries have gotten. But you have to take into consideration, like, bro, we're not the Lakers. Like, we can't do that. I don't know. I'm going to turn it over to you. For me, I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I don't know if we can sign him for that.
Well, they're gonna, right? First off, they're going to.
Probably.
And I think the real danger is generally, like, is Duren worth that amount of money, right? Like, because if he's not, and if he's not, then obviously it's going to harm the Pistons in the long run, right? If he is, it'll be a great deal. You'll get him for $60 million or $40 million, whatever the years is. I don't know. But is he worth more to a team like I think the Lakers, the Clippers, like teams that need a little size that are close, you know, maybe the Warriors. I don't know what their cap situation is, but like if you're the Lakers and you could not sign LeBron, you could not sign Aiden, you could now kind of go into this new next 5 or 10 years, Luka, Duren, and Reeves. Like that seems, if I'm the Lakers, appealing.
Sure.
Because then I don't need Duren to do a lot of stuff. But the Pistons need Duren to do a lot of stuff. So I think it's a tough spot for the Pistons. You know, maybe he's been so bad, maybe the Pistons get him at a little bit of a discount. I just don't think other teams are going to let that happen.
Yeah, I think we both agree that they're probably going to sign him. He's 22. The upside's huge. I get that. Here's my biggest dilemma here. Okay, number one, it's a little bit the Scooble thing. We're not a big market team like that. And like a contract like that could absolutely like maybe hurt the Lakers, but they can get out of it and move on and do something else and get better quicker. We sign something like that, it better work or we're toast for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like that's just what's going to happen in a mid-market team. So for me, it's not about signing that 22-year-old kid to $50 million a year. It's about how special Cade Cunningham is. You have a special player, an MVP player, a player that can bring you a title. You have that. If you give this kid this contract and this money, you are gambling Cade's future to give us that title because you're tying these two together until Cade's in his 30s and that window may close. And if this is a flop and it doesn't work, it's not that you lost the money on Duren. You just gambled away Cade's chances with the Pistons.
Yeah.
That's the decision to me.
Well, that and like there's not a lot of good unrestricted big men, right? Like if you look at just the Pacers, what they did, they traded a 5th pick in the draft and 3 other things for Zubac from the Clippers, right? They gave the Clippers the 5th pick in the draft. They had a swap. They gave him Mathurin, and they gave him another, and Garland, I think, just for Zubac. And look, I like Duren more than Zubac. Zubac was really good, but look, the next 5 years, I'm going to take Duren, over Zubac just because he's younger. So the price is high. The price is going to be high for these guys this size, and that's why the Pistons are going to do it because they know it, and they know, like you're saying, they're not going to get, the next big free agent's not going to come to Detroit. Probably it might go to Boston, and the Lakers. So that's why Duren's staying.
Yeah, because it's kind of like everything's a copycat league, and you're looking at it. Used to be, you needed all these flashy guards hitting logo threes, and everybody wanted those guys to try to win a title because that's what the Warriors were doing. And now you're looking at all the teams that are chasing down these titles. They all have these very good big men, right? Like Wemby is Wemby. The Knicks have Cat. That's that league, like you're saying. Like now it's kind of a focus on. I think you need a guy like that to try to win. Yeah. And for me, I'm like, I'm not going to disagree with the trend because it shows itself to be working, but could we be better suited by maybe picking up another really prominent scorer and living with a journeyman like a Allen, like the Cavs have, and with a Reed off the bench or something, but get more scoring? Would that help us more? And then we're not tied to it because if it doesn't work out, we could try something else the next year. I mean, I'm spitballing here.
Yeah.
You don't have to go that route.
Definitely. They have to sign more scoring. That's like the guys who can shoot, right? They just have to. Like even in that game, last night's game, people would drive and would kick out to like Jenkins or whoever. Like,
we didn't have Duncan. That hurt us.
I was like, this is not going to work, right? I think about midway through the second quarter, I texted you trouble, right? Because the Cavs weren't going away, and you could kind of feel like, at least I had the feeling of like, this is going to come down to who can make shots in the end, right? And in the fourth. Yeah. Like I'm just taking Mitchell and Harden. I'm not saying I do think the Pistons are a better team, but if we're just coming down to like this is close enough where it's just a shooting contest, the Pistons aren't going to beat the Cavs. Yeah. And then Strus, and then if you had
getting hot,
a great game, and you like, then the tipping point was over at that point.
It was over. And I mean, Duren has really just been killing us, man. Like if he could, I'm not asking him to be the 2010 guy he's been all year. If he could just give us 14-9. We'd win all these games.
I know. I think I texted in the middle of the third quarter. It's like he's got 7, 5, and 4. Like, what is happening? Like,
it's sat his ass on the bench the rest of the way, man. Like he ain't doing nothing. Yeah. I mean,
and Reed was pretty good, but Reed's never gonna. You're never gonna win.
He's not gonna be a star. Sure, he's not gonna be a star.
So he's a great backup, or even a third stringer after beef stew. He's great for that role. Yeah. Duren's got to be like. I mean, I would like give me 10 rebounds. Like it doesn't seem I'm asking too much. It's like 2.5 quarters.
It doesn't.
22 and 10. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, you want to make some Detroit fans even more angry, Andy. Let's let them in on the fact that you and I both agree. I let Stu go after the season. You got to let him go.
You have to trade him. You like trade him, get rid of him. However, because like he's eating up money that you got to get scoring.
He's eating up money. We need scoring, and quite frankly, I love, during the regular season that he's, an authority out there and he's going to keep things in line out there and stuff, but he's too hot-headed. He does the dumb shit. It's cost us in the playoffs. listen, give me the spark plug Reed off the bench, save some money, spend it elsewhere. I love beef stew, but like from a GM perspective, it's like this kind of is the guy that needs to go at the end of the year.
Yeah, and maybe Holland. Like if you can get some offense, the real kind of nuclear button obviously is like, what are you doing with the sewer? If you can get him to the right team, a defensive team needs defense, but they have shooting, they give you shooting. You'd have to kind of think
I don't know if I do that this year. I'm not. He's so good at everything else. And we don't have to make a decision on him contract wise yet. I might let's see if he can develop some offense because he just is so good at all the other stuff. That's our identity in the East defense.
Yeah,
Well,
the last play of the game sent to overtime. It was just like it was Mitchell and Thompson, and like I was like, Mitchell did not seem to enjoy it. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't.
Did you see his post game interview?
They
asked him, one of the first questions they asked him when he got over there, like, hey, you were kind of up and down tonight. You weren't like you were the other night, the kind of question of like, and then he just made a face and kind of like chuckled, but like frustratingly, he was like, yeah, they kind of figured out some things. They're throwing a lot of stuff at me. They're throwing a lot of stuff at me. I don't care for it. But, we figured some things out. Like, he don't like Asor being on him, man.
Asor is like defensively is incredible. Like,
incredible.
Like, he does have one elite skill. I just wish I get mad at him, as you know, because I'm like, I need you to look at the basket. Like, look at the basket.
He's actively turning down
the ball at the 3-pointer free throw, and he just like hands it off. It drives me up. It makes me so crazy. If I was a GM, I'm like finding trade partners immediately when I watch him hand it off. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, he's showing that he's like, I don't trust myself to take this shot. I don't want to make the mistake right now. The playoffs are important, and he's giving it up. And you're right. That's not. We need you to be confident there, and especially 4 feet from the basketball. I need you to take that up and score it.
But he is like elite defensively.
Elite.
And that skill is, you got to have it. So like right after I sent my trade offers to my other GMs, someone would be like, wait, we can't trade Asor. He's great defensively. I'm like, you're right. I'm just mad at him. I just get mad at him.
Yeah, I know. I love him. Like, just lock him in the gym this summer and get some little insight, get a little mid-range. I've heard a couple people tell me like he just needs to be shooting corner threes all summer. And I'm like, no, just get this guy a little mid-range shot and let him do the defense thing, and it will be beautiful. Give me 12 points a game on it, like just a clean mid-range. You're good, and play defense. I'll keep you. You know what I mean?
I have the same issue with his brother. His brother's better offensively, also an awesome defender. I wish his brother was a little better offensively.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Thompson boys, they just worked on defense their whole life, and they're figuring out the offense.
Yeah. And final take on Duren here is like, at the end of the day, I think there were some good points to be made about like tying him to Cade, but he is only 22. He just broke out this year and had a great season. This is our first little playoff run. He had a hiccup. I can't let him go because of that either. I'm probably going to have to just cover my eyes and pull the trigger and keep him here. But God, it all is on his shoulders if we give him that money, because if he turns out to be a bust and this gets in his head, what happened here in the playoffs, that can get in your head. And if this gets in his head and he's not the same player anymore, we blew Cade. We blew Cade.
Yeah, you got to sign him. It's kind of, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So
you're not going to be able to move him. If he's not any good, you're not going to be able to move him with that money on him.
Right. You got to
it's a big decision, man.
And they're going to do it. And they're definitely going to do it. So they got to do it.
Yeah. And they probably should. It just, it's nerve wracking to me, man. All right. Well, that took us right into Knocked Off. And the Knocked Off's brought to us by the official beer choice of the DWMOD podcast. That's the Old English 800, baby. Get some Brass Monkeys tonight for the NHL.
Brass monkey, that monkey. Brass monkey, chunky.
All right, quick rundown on the NHL, Andy, and then we got one more thing to get to before we get out of here. Look at this thing is playing out. This has been my most financial windfall of any postseason. Football will eat you alive. You can have a good one.
For sure.
Football can eat you alive. Baseball is very difficult. This hockey one's been great for me. The first upset combo of the Flyers and the Wild hit that. I have the Flyer right now on the Sabres to win the Stanley Cup. They're tied 2-2. They play tonight. Big game, most important. But here's where it's really looking good. Both my Stanley Cup tickets outside the Sabres, the Hurricanes and the Avalanche, and they're rolling. They're already both into the conference finals.
Yeah.
into the conference finals.
That's what you want. That final. You want Hurricane change.
Unless I can get Sabres.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Because they'll end up playing the Hurricanes. So if the Sabres can beat the Hurricanes, and if it's Sabres Avalanche, I'd rather have that because Sabres pays well.
Yeah.
The other ones are going to pay you like $70. You know what I mean? But it's looking like right now it's going to be exactly what we laid out on All Right Bet before the NHL playoffs. Bang.
Okay, buddy, it feels good. You got to kind of enjoy the victories. They don't happen very often.
I really want the Sabres, man. Let's get the Sabres beat the Canadians tonight, man. Let's go. So good luck to them tonight. And here comes our last knock it off of the day.
All right, everyone. Time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I have to have everyone in sports media right now knock it off with the LeBron retiring talk. This was probably his last game. LeBron probably retiring. Oh, he's probably his last game. Did you see any of this picture flying around anywhere? Have you seen this one yet?
I have not, but no,
neither have I, because when I see that picture and it's real and he's holding that jersey, then I'll know it's his last season.
Right. You're saying he's going out. He's going out with
the year that he signs with Cleveland. You will know this is the farewell tour. We've said it on the show. We're in agreement on the show. And here's the stance of DWMOD, and you can disagree with us or don't. LeBron James, a media whore. He's going to get his farewell tour, and it's deserved. It's deserved. But he's going to get his farewell tour, guy. He ain't walking away John Elway style.
No, I actually thought I thought the Pistons were going to beat the Cavs in 5. Now, we'll see. I thought maybe LeBron would return next year to Cleveland. Now, the problem is the Cavs are winning, and they're probably going to get to let's say they win this series, they get to Eastern Conference Finals. The Cavs don't have a need to sign LeBron as badly for next year.
Right.
So a lot of people kind of are speculating that he's going to end up on Golden State. Still in the West
That
Coast.
could happen. Him and Curry have been talking about that for a long time, But let me ask you this question and give me an honest answer. I know the Cavs don't need him. And if they make a run here and even maybe knock off the Knicks or take the Knicks to 7 or whatever, they're looking like they're in really good shape with what they've got. If he wants to go there, he's going there. They're signing him.
Yeah, but I think part of LeBron, too, is like he wants to go somewhere where he knows he can make a difference. And if the Cavs make the Eastern Conference Finals or even the Finals, hard to say he really made a lot of difference on this particular Cavs team. But if he can go to Golden State with Curry, and Golden State, who hasn't been in the playoffs much in the last couple of years, right?
Seems likely, yeah.
He could maybe elevate them with, a couple other players. Like, to me, that smells more like LeBron.
Is KD's deal up in Houston this year?
I think he's there for one more year. So but I don't think KD wants to go to Golden State. I don't think he likes the area.
Yeah.
So, but I do think we're going to get another LeBron year. Where do I think it's going to be? I agree. I think it's going to be Cleveland, Golden State, Lakers.
We're probably getting 2 or 3.
Probably
getting 2 or 3. I think even if he goes to Golden State for a year, then the next year it'll be Cleveland, and he's going to finish in Cleveland. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah. Yeah. We got more LeBron. Yeah.
So it's just every morning I turn on Sports Center and I got to hear, oh, okay, well, here's a tweet he gave out. This is cryptic now. Wait, it could be his last.
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I want to hear about it no more.
Yeah.
I hope the Pistons win, buddy.
Me too.
They could. This isn't over. I mean, they're good enough to win 2 in a row. Like I said, silver linings. If they don't, I don't have to watch another game, and I promise you, I probably will not watch another NBA playoff game.
But you should watch, if it's Spurs Thunder, you should watch that for sure. That's going to be incredible.
For sure can't watch the Thunder, man. Oh,
that's going to be incredible. Those two teams don't like each other. They're all young. That is going to be probably kind of feels like they're not friendly. Like Holmgren and Wemby don't like each other. Dylan Harper and Castle don't like the Thunder. Like, it's just a fucking beautiful setup. Especially
you got me on that. You got me on that. I might watch that because I'd like to watch San Antonio knock them out, maybe. But it's just the flopping's too much for me. I can't do it. It's just
I think I texted you this. I think the Pistons are the team that has to do everything the hardest way possible. So I can promise you, I will be on the Pistons money line, and I'll be on whatever the spread is on the Pistons in Game 6. I just think they, to me, smell like that kind of team. just a team who, like, you count them out and you're like, we're going to lose. They should have lost to Orlando in Game 6. The impossible happens. 4 for 37. I just think Cleveland hasn't lost at home. All the pressure's on Cleveland. None of the pressure's on Detroit. I kind of sincerely believe in Detroit in Game 6. So,
yeah,
watch out.
I do too. I think they can win it. I think they can do it. All right, brother. Well, hey, man, we laid it all out for you this week. We'll get to some more stuff next week. Hopefully the Sabres will pull out a win, and we'll see what's going on. College football stuff's going to be coming around the corner here pretty quickly, my friend.
Yeah, no, getting ready, man. We'll have some over-under stuff. We'll start slowly getting it going, and after the schedule release today, you'll see it'll be easier to get the over-under in the NFL. And by the way, the PGA is this weekend, so
Oh yeah, PGA this weekend. Let's fix some golfers there. Text you on that for sure. And hey, you guys know, get on over to DWMOD Pod and all your social media. We're giving you our picks, and every single day on the baseball, we're giving you the big 6 picks every single day. Right now, Andy, I think we're at like 177 and 110 or something for 60 something games over 500. We're doing well. It's been weeks, a month since we've had a losing day. So get on there. Just get on there, buddy. We'll see you next time.
We cutting loose.
College football is now B1G versus SEC. Don't put. If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money. Ready? All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. Let's go, Sabres. Get this done.
Let's go, Sabres.
We cutting